a very good morning. It's a beautiful day out here at the Independence Arcade. I'm here joining you live here on Newsline. It's the 1st of January 2016. A brand new year has been ushered in. And on behalf of the Capital Maharaja Organization Limited, we would like to wish you a very peaceful and prosperous 2016. With me today is senior journalist and former diplomat Bandula Jayasekara. A very good morning to you.
Morning to you, Sonali, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's a good start today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, we have got the kids, we have got the children, they are the future of Sri Lanka, and we have got the youth, and we have got a youthful minister, but I really like to introduce him as Arjuna because that's what matters. Though somebody said, okay, he's become a politician, but Arjuna is Arjuna, so that's what we love him, that's what we decided to get him. So I think, Sonali, we really could start. What we want to do today is to give the adults, the parents, a message to these children and youth. We could start and
That's right. As you mentioned, children are the future of tomorrow. And what better way to start a brand new year than by listening to what they have to say
also,
to the rest
we are
of the world.
representing all communities. That's the main thing, and that we have to stand as a united Sri Lanka together. That's what is important.
Absolutely. I think I'd like to start with Sandhu. What is your message?
I want parents to keep children happy.
You want parents to keep children happy. Very good. And next to Sandhu is Rifa. Rifa, what do you have to say to the people?
My mother, father all want to be very happy for my mother and father. Thank you.
Okay.
What's her message?
She wants to thank her parents.
Don't put garbage in a road. I think it is making dengue and it is very dangerous for people.
That's interesting. That's
Absolutely.
a nice message.
Yes. Danish, that was a very important point that you brought out because pollution is causing a great concern in Sri Lanka, not just in Sri Lanka but across the world as well. And also dengue is one of the most terrible conditions faced in Sri Lanka. Absolutely. Next to Danish is Dilshani. Dilshani, what do you have to say?
Actually, I am very happy to be here, and I would like to thank everyone who gave me this wonderful chance. And now I like to say that we must prevent the wasting water.
That's a very important message to water. I mean, I would say, I see, there's a saying, when youth we want to change the old, when old we want to change the youth. When we become adults, that's what I still read my Calvin and Hobbes and Tintin comics. I want to have the child in me. I think that's what is important. That's what she's, in a way, trying to say, not to forget your childhood. And adults, they do all the mistakes. You can ask the next.
Rian? Yes.
What is your message to your parents and to your adults?
For the parents, I say, don't fight in front of the children. It's not good for the children.
Can you say that again?
Say that again.
Not to fight in front of the parents, so then the children also will get something.
Domestic abuse is one of the issues that we in Sri Lanka need to counter, need to come up with solutions. And this is something also that must be kept in mind by the legislature of the country. Domestic abuse, parents fighting in front of children, the rate of divorce skyrocketing. These are issues that really need to be addressed.
So now there's a very strong message from a little girl, a girl child, and you as a lawyer, I want to ask you, can we bring more strict laws in this and helplines? I mean, I know like certain countries, they hide this. We should bring this to the open because children get affected.
In Sri Lanka, there are sufficient laws. However, what happens is that, like you said, that issue of stigma is there. If the husband beats the wife would try to hide it from the rest of society and say, නෑ මං මේ පඩිපෙළට ගිය අනකොට වැටුණා. ඒකයි මේ අත ඉදිමුනේ. something like
But
that.
what about, have you come across any cases where wife beat the husband? So it happens in overseas, right? Not in Sri Lanka.
I think it happens in Sri Lanka also in very limited...
That's also stigma, so they hide them. I think, Arjuna, your message to the people, because you want to give a strong message to the parents, you said.
No, it is very important, I think, the parents to be very close to the children. What has happened in the past, when a parent sees something happens to a different child, they act differently. But when it happens to your own child only, you get alarmed. And I think this is something we need to tell Sri Lankans. If something is happening to a child not belongs to you, still try to fight and save that child. And that is what India has already started, and some of the European countries have already started. And even I prefer to tell the children, or even the women in this country, if there are abuse, please come out and say it. Don't hide, because when someone is hiding, if someone is hiding something, it will affect the entire community. I think if we can fight this together, I'm sure that we can save women and children in this country.
Let's give the youth a chance. Amanda and Ashan, your thoughts? We'll start with the girl child. And here you have a lawyer. You just entered law college. So I think the future is yours.
Thank you. So right now I would like to bring out the point of, the issue of the protection of the girl child. We were talking about that as well. So in the Sri Lankan context, we were talking about the stigma where people, or to be precise, girls or women wouldn't necessarily address the issues they face because they're just scared, or they wouldn't want to be recognized as people who have been abused or have been hurt in any way. Therefore, I think we should make some movement towards it, as in mobilize some sort of a mechanism to help these people and also bring out these issues, to make sure that we protect these people and give them the empowerment to speak up about it, because I think that's a very important issue that we should address.
Ashan, don't speak for long, don't be like a politician, make it short, but the rights of the children, this is our future generation. What about their rights?
I think as young people we want to see a society where we love each other, care each other and respect each other. And to build that society, we all have a responsibility to do that. If you all can take that little action to build that society, I think that is our hope in this new year, and that is, I think, children's hope and everyone's hope. So that is my hope.
Thank you, Ashan. I think we need to mention here that there are sufficient statutory concerns that have been put in place. For example, the National Child Protection Authority as a law enforcement authority, the police, also the Women and Children's Bureau, acts such as the Domestic Violence Act. These acts are in place, but it is the women who must be empowered, as you said, Amanda, rightly, who should be told that they have this opportunity of going to a place and addressing their concerns. Also, we should talk about the role of the man in protecting the woman.
Are they doing that? We say so much about this country, but are they doing it? If you talk this about Seya case, we cannot forget them. We have to, when we talk of stigma, but I believe that you got to name and shame people. We got to. I think it's important. What are your thoughts, Ajay?
I think this is something we are trying to fight. I think what we need to do is to protect everyone, not to protect your own people. I think when I see something happens to an outsider, I prefer to close my eyes and wait. That is the concept adopted in this country. I think this is where we need to address, like if something happens to a different family, different lady or a child, I think it's very, very important us to make a big issue about it. And there are rules, regulations, laws. It is very important to implement those as well. And
because 5 weeks here, we have seen school vans. They're packed, they're crushed. That's not good, because in other countries you have these big school buses. How could these children? I've seen children falling asleep. They don't care much. They're packed, and I think that's really harassment. What will the government do about this?
I think this is one of the issues we address now with the education minister. I think with the whole education system, there's a lot of pressure on young children. You take the grade 5 exam. We are trying to see whether we can erase that. I think we have already come to a stage where we prefer it to be erased. And while doing exams, people will say the standard will come out. I don't agree with that. I personally feel when you are a child, you need to be live like a child, not like an adult. I think what has happened with new technology, some of these children are trying to be adults, and adults prefer to give everything to the children and keep their eyes closed. I think you go to the internet, I think any kid will go to the internet. There are good sides and bad sides. This is where we need to have the lines, not to cross those lines.
Parental control.
Absolutely. I think this is something we are lacking in this part of the world.
So I think we couldn't ask during the seminar program. We should really ask the kids what they want to be in the future. Then we can take it from there.
You want to be a doctor. Okay.
That's like the
That's
father.
one of the
Because
very
the father is a doctor.
answers. Lisa,
I want to be a teacher.
you want to be a teacher. Okay, Ganesh.
That's good, and I hope and pray this government will give beautiful permits to principals and to teachers, not to others.
I want to be a pilot.
Fantastic. You want to be a pilot. Okay. Reshani, whom do you want to be?
I want to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor as well. Okay.
So we have two doctors, future doctors.
I also like to be a doctor.
You also like to be a doctor. So we have 3 doctors. Amanda, you'll be a lawyer, no? Will you also be practicing?
So we have two doctors, teacher, and a pilot.
Not a single politician.
Not a single politician, which is good.
Not a single cricketer.
But I think we cannot forget, we are all here because of our teachers. I know, Arjuna, you always respected your Nelson Mandela. I'm sorry. So that's, you never forgot him. I don't think Murali forgot Sunil and his coach. So why do we forget teachers, Sonali? I think that's a very important thing. We are here because of them.
That's right.
Not today.
Yeah, I think let's I think it would be right to call them the wind beneath our wings. They are the silent usherers who sort of set us forward. Usher, who do you want to be sure.
Well, with the education and also the work I'm doing, I want to be an advocate to push forward the concept of human rights and educate people. So my idea is to be a lecturer and also an advocate to educate people on human rights and all the other issues.
Nobody wants to be in the media, sadly.
That's
No
right.
politicians, no media people.
Arjuna, because I think the importance of sports and a holistic education system has to be recognized.
And so now Australia, a country like Australia is built on sports. I think their minds are occupied. That's a sporting nation. Arjuna, shouldn't we go and try and make Sri Lanka a real sporting nation?
Bandula, we have already started with the Education Minister and the Sports Minister, with Mr. Malik Samaravikrama heading the committee. We are trying to introduce a new system for children who are playing sports to get more marks in an exam. And even up to the university, I think it will encourage these young children to start playing sports with the education system we have. I think every parent is trying to push their child to the book, not to the sports line. By doing that, there are a lot of children with blood pressure, high blood pressure, and cholesterol levels are high, and even they are diabetics. When they are about 12, 13, they have become diabetic patients. This is something we are trying to create. We have already started discussion. I'm sure that by next year, this is 2016 start, by 2017 start, we are trying to implement that in schools.
So now Arjuna had a very interesting point. The point was that how mothers, this is a message we need to give it to the audience, to our viewers, how mothers are trying to play cricket. I think you should elaborate on. That is very interesting. Not the fathers, the mothers are interfering in cricket.
I think what we need to do is to identify their talent. if that child is good on cricket, we should try to allow him to play cricket. There are children that are better on football, maybe rugby, and these are the areas where we have not identified. Every father, every mother, mainly the mothers are trying to push their sons carrying the cricket gear. I can remember one day I was traveling on the road and I saw a mother carrying a cricket bag, and I stopped the vehicle, got down, I said, don't do this to your child. Allow the child to carry his own cricket bag because this particular child is having a drink in his hand, walking like a just no responsibility. I think these are the things we need to educate children and try to get children to be little responsible when they are young as well.
It really came as Arjuna was hailing this brave young man. All the 4 girls are seated, he's standing. So he's the brave young man today.
So also, speaking about play, I think those days, kids used to climb mango trees, play cricket. There was a lot of outdoor play. But these days, with the advent of technology, all the kids, they're on their computers, on their iPhones, their tabs. So this is sort of stifled creativity also in a way.
Yeah, that's true, because I think there should be controls. I have read that American President Obama, he has controls on his children on Facebook, which is important. I think that's like you have the TV, the parent control, we have to have that. So I don't know whether it's possible.
Well, we need to have quality time with children. I think we all are busy. I think the mother is working, father is working. When they come home, they cook, sit in front of the TV and start eating dinner, and no one knows what they are eating. But I can remember when we were young, when my father comes to the dinner table, no telephones, no other discussions. We can talk about cricket, we can talk about so many things. That even I implement that with my children. They can't carry a telephone to the dinner table, and that's where the quality time comes. I think I have seen, whenever I go out station, I have seen from 7 o'clock mothers are watching all these teledramas, neglecting the house. People will scold me, say I'm an old-fashioned guy, but this is something we need to introduce. When it's very, very important to have this quality time with your children.
This is a very important thing which you and I brought, that we should ask the children about what their parents are doing. I think we should start and ask, whether they're always on the computer or laptop or the phone.
Sandhu, when you go home after school, what do you usually do? How do you spend your afternoons?
I do my homework and play.
And you play?
Yeah.
How do you play? What do you play with? Do you play cricket, or do you
play badminton?
You play badminton. Okay, very good. Rika?
First I will eat my lunch, and I will play.
You'll play. Okay, so you don't do your homework?
No, sometimes I will do.
Right. Do you prefer playing on the computer, or do you play outside in the garden? In the garden. Okay. I think you'll have to take the mic from behind, darling.
I do my homework and playing computer games.
For how long do you play these computer games?
I'm playing ping pong ball.
I'm sure if his parents are here, we should tell them to control it and then let him be more honest. It's too honest. That is, child will.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about what's with the mind?
Dilshani?
At afternoon I complete all my homeworks. Then I spend little time with my sister and I play with her.
Okay.
Just like ball passing, carom,
Okay.
mixed double, etc. And I watch some useful cartoons like.
Useful
I like that.
Just like useful programs and kids programs, etc.
Okay. Fine, we'll ask the same question from Rian.
After coming from school, I watch TV a lot. and after in the end I do my homework.
What about your parents? What do they do? Are they always on the computer in front of the television?
My mother is every time in TV.
Every time.
In the evening lights.
Yeah.
And my father is in phones and like
He's on the phone, mother is in front of the TV. This is the exact message we want. I think I can see her parents here laughing away, but this is a very short message.
It is very, very important. So I can take both of them to the parliament, at least that we will have some honest, true people speaking.
I think so. I think it's really, I'm sure her parents, the New Year resolution will be less TV, less telephone, more time with the kids. And them ask for anything more.
Your aspirations for this year?
For this year, of course, like we mentioned before, just to make sure that I just go that extra mile to do a little bit more for someone else and not just for myself, because we both are also in this field where we talk about human rights, and how human rights is simply about, thinking a bit more about others, not this whole Geneva issues or the declaration as a document itself. It's practicing it practically. So I want to I aspire to have a New Year resolution where we put that into action. We currently are, just to make sure that everybody knows about their rights and also that they're concerned about everyone else as well.
Ashan, how do you propose to take responsibility?
It's all about working with everyone with mutual understanding. So it's all about taking our action, be responsible. So to be responsible, you don't really have to be a doctor or a lawyer. You can even be a middle class man and who's working as a driver. He can actually take this message forward. When you are in the bus, if you can actually thank when you are getting the bus ticket, see that society. We want to see that society. I think that is where we see the real meaning of, real concept of human rights.
Ahmad, I want to ask a question. I think both of you can answer it. What about these politicians carrying children for cameras? All politicians. But I don't see that happening very much in the West. What are your views?
I personally believe it's the thought behind it matters. I'm not necessarily going to directly comment on it, but what their real motive was,
right?
what their actual motive was behind doing that is what we should think about as people who see those things on media. So generally, what I believe is they can do whatever they want. It's in our hands to
But
have perception
from there. We have campaigned, we have said in our program, this is very important, using children to receive and welcome politicians. They stay for hours, Arjuna. Cannot we stop? We shouldn't stop that. It's really a big issue.
I think, Madhu, to tell you honestly, we have already started that. Even I know that wherever I go, even to a school function, I always tell not to keep the children. And I go on time. When I was told to come at 9 o'clock, generally I'm there by 9 o'clock. So these are the things. If we work on time, even the children will learn, saying so-and-so is working on time, why not us? These are the things we neglected in the last so many years.
Schools like taxes them say, okay, get a uniform, get a new dress on. Can't afford it.
I think some of these principals and some of the teachers were trying to felicitate the politicians rather than thinking of the important areas. I think these are the things we need to cut down and stop. I don't think we can cut down that overnight, but slowly, gradually we might be able to stop these issues.
Starting a new constitution that's taking place.
Right to information, that's very important.
That's right. So we have lots to look forward to.
And I mean, it's always good to be positive, and I think really we are the people's channel. I mean, let's see how the people will benefit.
That's right. And I think taking the message of Sri Lanka, being Sri Lankan. Thank you so much for joining us on this very auspicious occasion.
We'll be joined, next Monday on the 4th, we'll be joined by another young politician. But we will talk before the 4th. Sometimes we might decide to talk to politicians, some other things than politics. We just check that they also have a life.
That's right. And on that note, from the Independence Arcade here in Newsfirst team, we wrap up this edition of Newsline. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day and a great year ahead.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz